All right, y'all. This is Will Golden. I'm doing my first ever full-on, I'll say loop cook-up because I'm not gonna really make the whole beat. It might take a little too long, and I don't want to do too much on this first time. So, like I said, we're gonna cook up a sample that I got from Landon today. Here we're gonna play the sample out loud. Hopefully, my monitors sound clear on the video. I should have done a sound check before, but just rolling with it. So this is a sample. Let me kill that clicker real quick. It's a sample that we got. I really like it. It's in the key of B flat minor. It's a good one, but off the top, for me, it's just a little too fast. Just thinking of when I hear songs like this or melodies like this, I always think of my bass line first. A lot of people drop their drums first, but I just think of my bass line, and I'm gonna be playing the bass line today, so I definitely got to drop that speed down just a little bit. So the tempo's at 160 right now, so we're gonna drop it down to somewhere. I'm gonna just try 136 because that's where a lot of my beats fall. So let's see how it sounds. Definitely a little better. Might be too slow in the end, but for the most part, it gives me a feel of what I can kind of hear and what I want to go with my bass line. So, first of all, I always start my bass line with the keys, just because, just to give me an idea of what I'm looking at. Okay, why is it not making noise? Technical difficulties here. My MIDI player ain't. Okay, there we go. So. Something around this range. Okay, I'm liking that kind of feel to it right there. So that's how I get an idea of my bass line. And like I said, I don't know what it is, but the music just kind of stay in my head. So. So that melody I just came up with. The melody I just came up with, I'm gonna use this as my bass line. But always, like I said, that's something simple that I can kind of start with. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the bass real quick. So while I got this thought in my head with a melody like this, and it's slowed down. I'm really want to add a lot of movement in my bass line just to kind of glue it all together. So let's play it. Of course, like I said, we're starting on, don't judge me for looking up at my chart. We're starting on B flat. So here we are on our bass. B flat's up here. So let me see. Melody I just came in with. Okay, so with that, like I said, I gotta add a little bit more groove to it. So let's just kind of fill it with that bass line a little bit. Okay, hold on, let's see something. really tough. It's okay, so it's gonna go. Okay. Now to come back down here, which is A, B, C, D flat, whatever, D sharp, yeah. Okay, so we gotta go. We're gonna go D sharp, B. Oh, I'm tripping, bro. I'm looking up at my chart, by the way. I got bass chart on this wall, 6-string guitar chart on that wall. But most of the time, I try not to think too much about the theory behind it. I just want to try to go with what it feels like and what it sounds like. So let me just stop thinking so much and just play the bass now, bro. Here we go. I probably should have been recording that run because that was really good. So like I said, this is how I start my loops, or just start the main lines to any song. I always kind of start with the gist of, I get a good sample or I play a sample. Sometimes I play samples on my keys. For my first project, everything is all like from scratch made. A lot of my newer beats are from samples, just simply because, I mean, Lander provides some really good samples. This ain't no sponsor video. I'm clearly just starting it out of this, but Lander, if you're listening, holla at your boy if y'all trying to do some sampling work. Not sample, but trying to do some whatever it's called, sponsoring work with me. You know, I'm doing my thing here. So like I said, I start off with the Lander samples lately, just because, I mean, it cuts a lot of time out of it. I know it kind of dilutes the music a little bit, but as far as what I'm doing, how much music I'm trying to put out, I definitely need to make things a little bit faster right now, because I do work a job. I work a full-time job, and I do construction on the side. And I got 2 little girls that I spend time with as much as I can. So prioritizing right now is a big thing, and trying to find that balance of creating enough to put out the output, to create the output that I'm looking for, and also keep things slow enough that I can create music that actually has some feel to it, not so much as just this kind of usual sound. Like you can see, I don't know how long we've been in this thing, probably already like 10 minutes or so, and I'm still just working on getting the bass line down. But like I said, usually for me, once I get the bass line down, I can get a feel of everything else. Of course, we got the main line, the melody, with the sample, so it doesn't take too much time to do drums. I don't make any intricate drum sets yet. I just kind of do a kick, hi-hat here, and a quick snare, nothing crazy. Might add some shaker sometimes, but like I said, let's record this bass line so that I won't, so I can move past this part. We gotta kind of get over with this thing. So I'm gonna practice it first before I throw it in there. Okay, let's record it. It never fails, bro. That first take, trying to record in a line, playing a live instrument, I don't know what it is, bro. I always just choke. When that first note come out, it be weak. So let's try to get another take at that. Okay, we got it, but it's definitely peaking a lot. I'm screen recording right now, I hope. Yeah, I'm screen recording right now, so you'll be able to see kind of the what the computer has next to this video, however way I'm figuring it out. But it's definitely peaking a lot. So let me see how it sounds. As much as it's peaking right now, this is just a video, you know, to kind of show y'all what I do. Like I said, it's taking a long time to get this thing going, but really, I'm trying to see how much time I can do this with like trying to explain it and everything, because normally I can throw a quick melody together, a quick eight bar loop together in like 20-30 minutes. So we're gonna see how this comes out. Yeah, as you can see, it's peaking a whole lot. I recorded that way too loud. So for me, like I said, I do some stuff a little different than most people. And this is in GarageBand, by the way. I didn't even clarify all that up front. We put my noise gate up to about 45. And let's just drop the volume. So it's not that bad right there. Although it's still peaking. I need to take some of the low end out of that melody. So we're going to go in and do some EQ, which I already took some out when I first started playing it, but see, it just sounds a little bit cleaner that way. It gives my bass line more room to kind of fit. Okay, so we're gonna go with that. We're gonna roll with that for the bass line, the melody line. So now, like I said, everybody do their drums and stuff differently. I started mostly with my bass lines, and then now we're gonna go in and bring in a hi-hat just to kind of add a little bounce to it. So the main hi-hat that I mostly use in GarageBand, y'all, it's kind of limited on the quality here. But don't get me wrong, I love GarageBand. Everything about it is where I am right now. Every beat I've ever made, every loop I've ever made has all been in GarageBand. So I'm not discrediting the power of GarageBand by no means, because I'm gonna be honest, I'm investing in a new laptop right now, so I'll be upgrading to Logic soon. But I got so much music coming out of GarageBand that I'm looking at probably like, honestly, two to three EPs after my first LP, coming strictly from GarageBand. So I ain't discrediting GarageBand at all, and I hope people out there who eventually will see this video realize that it's not about what you're using, it's about what you sound like. Just being real. Like, if you can create a commercial sound in GarageBand or whatever they call it, I don't even know what it is. It's a phone app that I've seen a lot of people make stuff on, but it ain't really about all that. You know, your investment is your time. Of course, you got to invest in monetary things. My little studio, I put it together at pawn shops here in town, so I ain't really spend as much as most people would, but I spend a whole lot more than people who haven't gotten into that investment stage yet. So I'm not trying to be all critical about that, but let's see. I always start with this simple hi-hat. We'll go in here. The hi-hat's usually down here on F sharp. So first off, I just start with just on the grid, nothing crazy. I just start with just straight up ticks on the grid just to see how it sounds at first. So I don't like how slow that sounds with that. So let's double it up. We're gonna mean double it up, meaning we're doing 16th notes now instead of eighth notes. I believe that's right. I'm gonna be honest. Like I said, I ain't really all keen on music theory yet, so comment if I'm wrong. Please, I'm not the person who think I'm all perfect, and I'm growing and learning at this every day. So I think that's 16 notes. Yeah, that's 16. And 16 counts in between each bar, so I'm right on that one. But let's see how it sounds with the 16ths. I'm still not really feeling it. So let's just jazz it up a little bit. Let's see, we'll go triplet. Okay. Like I said, we're jazzing it up right now. I don't really know how it's gonna sound, but okay. Some days the hi-hat don't sound too fresh by itself, so I just skip the hi-hat and go straight over to my snare, clap, or whatever it's gonna be. And this one, I'm hearing a clap, but it may not be a good move to make. So we're gonna go down and add in our clap. Neon is the kit, an electric drum kit on GarageBand that I use all the time for the clap. So that's a real like. It's got a nice reverb on it naturally. I don't have any reverb on this or anything. It just got a nice pop to it. So let's see. Let's mute that hi-hat. Let's go. Ooh, I'm slurring a little bit with my bass line, so I'm about to use a cheat code, y'all. Of course, eventually I'll go back and play that melody really good with my bass, but right now I'm just gonna go in and show y'all the plugin that I use to write these bass lines when I'm moving real fast on a normal day. I was really just trying to flex with the bass right then, just to show you that I can kind of move with the bass, but don't get me wrong, it's tough to just kind of throw that in there. So we're gonna cheat the game. Let's go with our Moto Bass plugin. I don't really know who it's by, but actually, let me go and look at that. I don't want to be that guy and discredit the creators, because these people put a lot of time and effort into what they're doing. Okay, it's with IK Multimedia, and it's Moto Bass 2. Actually, this is Moto Bass 2. So the same melody that I just played with my bass, you can completely get it on your you can get it in your plug-in. Like I said, GarageBand is no different than any other DAW, in my opinion. It's truly probably the best thing you can start with. For me, I studied a lot of them. I tore my Achilles last year about this time, and I was just sitting around doing nothing, and I was like, man, I can finally start chasing my dream. You know, I was on disability leave, so I had enough time, enough funds to just kind of go ahead and get started with this thing, and boom, it turned into just this completely new world of music creation. So, you know, never find yourself dwelling too bad on the negative things that you encounter or just random mishaps, because God always has some kind of caveat for you in that season of downtime if you're really listening for him. That's really honestly when I kind of got stronger in my faith, to the level where I'm more focused on creating music that's only glorifying God. I'm a music producer. You know, sometimes I may work with secular artists, but any song that you ever will hear me put out, it's always going to be some positive message about my life and about my story. So let's get back to this. Before I start crying, I get sensitive when I talk about this stuff, y'all, because when life comes full circle and things start to line up, and you can kind of piece together what's going on, you can really see the ways God is navigating your life. It's scary at first, but it's truly overwhelming, and it's awesome. So like I said, let's get back to this over here. We got our Moto Bass opened up. I only got the free version. Like I said, y'all, I'm real cheap, so most of the stuff I get is for the low, and it's on some kind of sale, or it's a demo or something. But I like this plugin because, I mean, you can really go in and do anything you want with it. I didn't do anything crazy. I used my finger. I was finger plucking on it. We can change the strings. I used my 4-string on that, and so we're gonna just keep it as it is. So. It's way easier for me to just play it, you know what I'm saying, on my bass. So I'm gonna be real. Scratch that. We're gonna just throw that out of the way, because it would have taken me a little less time to start on that. But once I played it on my bass, it's hard to add that real life feel to the plugin. But I just wanted to show that on there. So back to what we were doing. Like I said, y'all, this is the first one. It's already 20-something minutes, man. I might not get nobody to watch this, and there may be millions of y'all out there who want to watch somebody just kind of genuinely go through their process and see how it goes. So we're gonna roll with it. Let's maybe turn that bass down just a little bit. All right, so let's record in that clap. That's a tough thing. I always like to quantize. I really don't want to share my little cheat code, but let's do it. So we go. I quantize that whole clap and hear how it sounds on the beat. See how it sounds robotic. So I'll go in and just zoom in on one of those. I already selected everything. I'll zoom in on one clap, and then I'll just bag it off about to 0.3. I don't know. It's just a number that I came up with, and it usually sounds real groovy like that. So let's see. You see how it's just kind of started to drag it out a little bit, giving it a little more space for the bass to ring through. And another thing, let's go in and mess with the EQ on this bass, because like I said, it's a lot of extra noise coming from my bass. So we'll go in and we'll just kind of do a low pass filter. Sound way better. You hear how that sounds? Actually, I don't know if that's a low pass or high pass. People be saying that all the time in their videos, and I'll be like, which way you going? But either way, I'm cutting out the highs. And so when now that I have the clap in there, it's a whole lot easier for me to bring that kick in, and it's a whole lot easier for me to bring that the hi-hat in. So ooh. Okay, so that's that melody I end up coming. That pattern I came up with, that's actually a swing. So we're gonna put in all the ticks for it. I figured out a lot of different hacks in GarageBand to help me. We'll put in all the ticks, and then we'll go back and I'll show you a cool feature GarageBand. I'm sure every DAW has it, but GarageBand is so simple, man. I mean, like I said, if you're ever trying to start making your own beats, no shade to any producers, of course. There's a lot of producers out there. You just can't create what they create. Their unique sound, their unique way of doing things is just different, and I wouldn't expect anybody to think that they can just come out there and just go in and change the way people do things. But at the same time, man, you can add your own flair to things. You know, you can kind of present yourself in a way that makes you different, or whatever kind of way you want to feel. So we got the normal ticks like this, and then you can come in here and you can mess with the time instead of quantizing. It's already quantized. Everything's already on the grid. We can go in and add a swing to it. I usually use E, I believe. And like I said, we're gonna do the same thing with that. We'll bring it off to 0.3 and see how it sounds. Might change the swing up, but that's a good one. It started off on a good one, so we'll just see. No, that ain't what I'm looking for. So we're just gonna quantize it back. We'll bring that down and go in and find the swing I'm looking for. Maybe need to add more notes in there. That ain't it. That ain't it. You can see it usually take me quite a while to get going if I'm trying to talk through it. I talk to myself a lot when I'm doing this, but while I'm trying to explain things to people, it's like, bro, 20 minutes? I would have been done with this loop like 15 minutes if I was doing this on my own, but hey, let's just roll with it. Nope, that ain't it either. Oh, okay, yeah, so I've definitely got it. So I'm just gonna use Command Z and just to kind of go back and delete all that I just did, all the changes I made to it. Because that is definitely 16th notes. It's 16th long. So let's go up and add in a tick in between all those. Sometimes I usually just delete and then kind of do it all over so I can just copy and paste it over, but I'll probably edit all this out. Oh man, it's gonna be a lot of editing, man. It's crazy. When I realize how much people put into this stuff, man, y'all, it add a whole lot of respect. Put a lot of respect on the names of people who you see doing this, whether they got a team or whether they do it on their own. You know, it's a lot of work that goes into recording yourself and putting these YouTube videos out there. Because like I said, man, this is for, man, when I'm doing stuff just solo, I don't really think about, how much time I'm putting into it. But right now, bro, I'm over here getting frustrated low key. I need to just chill. Might take a break and go pray or something, because I'm getting frustrated realizing how long this is taking. But like I said, we're doing long form content now, bro. This is not about trying to make everything quick and easy. If people gonna watch it, they're gonna watch the whole thing just because they want to learn something, or they just want to be entertained by what you did. So that was me literally thinking out loud, y'all. I be fighting wars in my head. I be literally battling with the devil, trying to tell me that, oh, you need to stop, you're doing too much. And then the angel on the other side is like, bro, you got this, just relax. So here we go, we're gonna keep going. So yeah, everything, we're gonna Command C, go over to the next bar, and we'll print it in like that, because it takes away from all that time you have to do. So those are 16ths. And let's go in and quantize it on that same triplet pattern that I had a while ago. It's a swung F on a 16th note and see how it sounds. Nope, that ain't it. We're gonna go through them and see which one it is. It ain't it either. You'll know once you hear it, once you feel that groove that I was like, you're gonna feel it whenever it comes out. So we're gonna see. That's close. So that's D. Nope. That's C. I don't know. I might roll with B. Let's just see how A sounds. And again, we're quantizing. This is quantizing right now. We're not doing nothing crazy. I'm just quantizing. I'm changing these presets to add a swing to it, because I don't really, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes when you're doing it with your finger, it might not. That's the one I was looking for. So let's just put it in time now. Like I said, we always, on most of the stuff with my drums, I always offset it to 0.3 for the position. I actually like that, so we're gonna leave that in place. This is our moto bass, so I'm gonna leave that as is. A lot of times I'll go through and quick click and change the name of each track, but like I said, for the sake of time right now, we're not gonna do that. And I organize things kind of weird. I always start my main melody up top, have my bass line not second, but I'm definitely gotta add in some strings. I'm a sucker for a good chord progression. So no matter what, I always add in some full strings once I get all the beat done. So just to add that feel to it, that kind of like, just like a rising kind of feel to it. Because I always would like to hope that my songs will be played by bands, bro. Like, I come from, where my music passion really came from was my pops. He was like, we used to always listen to a whole bunch of bass when I was a kid. So it just kind of developed from there. But both of my band directors in my life, I was always playing bass instruments. I started with a Barry saxophone way back when I was a kid with Dr. Jernigan, and then Dr. Long put me on tuba. After that, it was all she wrote. I already knew bass lines was in my soul. So full circle moment, I'm finally transitioned to a string instrument that's bass. You see how life works when you just kind of let things guide you along. You just work your way through it. So anyway, always going on random tangents, so y'all just forgive me on that. So we're gonna add this. This end's gonna be for our strings. But now let's add in a kick that might add a little more oomph to what we're doing. So I start with electric drum kick, and most times I'm gonna be straight up. I just kind of randomly pick a kick. That is not a kick. Okay, so that's a decent kick right there. So it's a good one to start on. We'll just start with that one. And A lot of times it's already got a bass line written. Because I always say that I start with my bass lines, but that's cap. Sometimes I start with the kick, but for the most part, bass lines are easier for me to just build first because I feel like a kick take up a lot of space, and if I want to create intricate bass lines that kind of got a lot of movement in them, I have to leave the kick out first. Because when I add in the kick, I want the kick to just be a supplement or an accent to the bass, if that makes sense. I don't really want the kick to be the main focus. I want it to be like accenting the bass line I've created. We're gonna drop those the hi-hat down a little bit more because that tick can be a little annoying. I really should have went in there and re-recorded that bass because it's definitely peaking a lot, but like I said, this is our first video. I want y'all to see the authenticity in what I'm doing, y'all. This is genuinely my process, so hey, who cares if it's not perfect, you know? But yeah, let's add in the kick now. So we start that kick. I always zoom in and see what notes my bass line hit on, because once you find your bass line, I always want that root note to have a kick. Of each melody, each part of the melody, I want that root note to have a kick. This is about to get real repetitive, so I might end up speeding this part up and then, Okay. So like I said, you can kind of see what's going on. I am not the guy who's gonna, I'm not a finger drummer. A lot of people out here can just use their pad and just be. I am not that guy. I'm not a drummer. I'm a bass player. So for me, I really don't even want no kicks in my songs, but most people won't like that. So I just got to add the kicks in anyway. So I have to go in and manually type in my kicks. Like I said, it's gonna be simple because I don't really want to do too much. I say that a lot of my songs on the first project, I got some crazy kicks going, but like I said, it's still always mostly focused on the bass line. So. Okay, so I'm trying to get to the first 4 bars down there. I'm just copy and paste it over. That down. I like the down kick. It's kind of come in on an off note, just because, like I said, it's not. I don't want it to completely follow my bass line. I want the accent sometimes. So, let's see. Yeah, that's it. Boom, boom. So we're gonna go ahead and, like I said, we just gotta accent that bass line. I don't like to completely override the bass line with a kick. So. But also, I can see what I'm using my screen for right now. You can see where my bass notes are hitting here, and you can see where that clap is hitting. So I don't want on the notes where the clap is hitting the same as the bass guitar, I definitely don't put a kick right there. If I've done it in the past, it wasn't on purpose and it wasn't thought of. But you can see on most of these, it never happens. Whenever the bass line and the clap happens at the same time, my bass kick is always off. I don't like that sound together. The kick and the clap together don't really sound good to me. To me, it might work for other people, but it don't sound good to me. Okay, that's it. We're gonna just literally copy and paste that over. To complete the loop. This is an 8-bar loop again, and always my drums, I always just offset them just to give it a little more groove and kind of slow down to it. Let me turn it. Don't ever hit quantize if you already got this swing set for your hi-hat, because when you hit quantize on your other drums, it just swing everything. It's gonna sound a little too groovy, but let's see. So that's pretty simple. Let's bring the clap down a little bit. Okay, here's another hack, because I feel like that melody is too right up in front of me. So I always go in and find a plugin to add some space to it. And like I said, Lander, I am a subscriber to the Lander Pro Studio. They have a plethora of samples that you can choose from. You get like, I don't know, over 2,000 credits for a year. And you also get access to a lot of their great plugins. With the Pro Studio subscription, you get access to pretty much all of them. So I love their plugins. I'm just being real. This is not me trying to get a promotion. Wink, wink. I'm not trying to get Lander to just, you know what I'm saying, full on commit to doing a partnership with me, but I use Lander for distribution. And so far, this past week was my first release on Sunday. And so far, it's been pretty cool. Everything is working out. I'm getting access to my artist profiles on Spotify, Apple Music. The only one that's a little gray area is with the YouTube channel. So I'm still trying to fight through and find out how to get access to that topic channel. But we ain't tripping on that. It's not Lander's fault. That is a YouTube stipulation. They do a really good job to make sure that artist is not going to be manipulated by anybody, or their songs won't be stolen. So they have... you got to kind of communicate with the people yourself. It's not going to be just like, oh, you just type in something to change it. You got to go in and actually have a conversation, a full email thread of that. So we're working through that process right now. But back to what I was saying, we got a plugin that I use a lot. It's called Lander FX Electric. I turn it all the way up, and I'm going to just let the loop play while I'm doing this so you can kind of hear the changes. So before the plugin, you hear how that... the melody just sounds real, just right in the middle, real flat. That's with the 70s guitar on. And that right there just added so much life to that melody. Let's go and see. I might come back to that, but let's just see the tremolo, or I don't know how to pronounce that. First one fit a little bit better. Let's try the chaos. I use this delay a lot. Ooh, I don't know. I might just stick with that. On this creative one, it's gonna take a lot of editing on this. But on this creative one, the space guitar. That a lot. I'm gonna just stick with that. So as I said, that was Lander FX Electric plugin. Y'all cop them if you can. So we're gonna change that kick. Like I said, I started with that kick just because I wanted something to go in. Let's try another. Kicking out the highs on that kick. right there. I can't expose that one yet. So we're just gonna go into the orchestra tab on GarageBand because GarageBand's got built-in sounds, you know. So let's go in with the strings. I use a strings ensemble. Like I said, so you gotta remember you're in the key of B flat minor. I got a bunch of charts on the wall, and just so happened this was not premeditated at all. But I got my B flat minor is first thing on the list. So the chord scale is there. I always start on a root note just to kind of keep it going. But I'm not the keyboard specialist, so I have to find my chords as I go. So where we at? So that's a B flat, and it says B flat minor is a root note. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's our root note with the strings. Let's go up an octave. Let's see how it sounds on the 1. We're gonna go up there. What is the next one? C diminished. See what diminished? That don't make sense. All right. I wrote these charts, by the way, so. Uh-oh, I just saw it in there. There it is. Okay, see diminished. I did not know how to find that one. I don't have the actual fingerings on the wall. I just got the scales. Because like I said, we're going to do this. We try to learn as we go, you know. So we're going to start with the B flat minor. All right, let's see how those sound. I'm just keep it simple, so let's record those in. I gotta figure out my fingering. Like, I don't know, like I know the keyboard really well, but with my fingers, when I switch from that B flat minor up to the C diminished, it's hard for me to go back to the B flat minor, if that makes sense. But I don't know, let's go. So we go in, everything, most of the time I do is quantize for the simple fact that I am not a keyboard player. So we're going to take the time off of that. Well, that's actually, we're not going to take it off. We're going to go back to the quarter notes, the eighth notes, when we quantize that, because I don't want that to be swung. So let's see how it sounds. That's it. That's our strings. We just added those in. That was quick. That was probably the fastest part of it. I kind of mix as I go just to make sure my sounds are not too flat, nothing's too overbearing. Still, that hi-hat is still not really sitting well with my ears, so. But for the most part, I don't think it's too bad for now, right? honestly, I got a whole lot more ideas of what to do with this, just this loop alone, because like I said, when I start a beat, I start with an 8-bar loop, and then I build out the rest of the song from that loop. So right now my mind is going all over the place trying to figure out different melodies, different additions, or different changes in our chord progression to fill up where the verse is going to be. But for the most part, that's it. That's a general process of me building a loop. It took, that's 50 minutes, but there was a lot of talking and a lot of random stuff in between there. So as you can tell, I mean, normally it'd probably take me about 30 minutes to make this loop from start to finish, starting with sample, then dropping the bass line, then add in the drums. Of course, we're gonna fill in a lot of extra sound effects, a lot of extra ear candy for producers, and then we usually just write after that. I mean, I sit there with the loop going, and I come up with the chorus, and then from there I just break it down, you know, separate everything. I usually start off with strings. That's like, I just like strings a lot, and I always just start off, and I mean, I try to keep everything centered. But there you have it. There is a loop by William Golden, the producer. So I hope y'all have enjoyed this video. I've enjoyed this process. This weather that's coming in, I think it's just coming in a wave of new energy. I mean, I ain't trying to be all philosophical on you, but man, last night at work, I was just like, I'm going to record my first long form content tomorrow, and I don't care what happens, I'm going to do it. And we've successfully done it, y'all. It's probably been crazy to watch me have these little sporadic moments in my head, but as things have come together and we got it done, we're at the point where this loop is usually just on replay just so I can come up with the chorus. Of course, we're going to fill it in a lot once we start writing, but for the most part, this is how I start my process. So I hope you enjoy it. We're going to just play it back. Probably upload the official audio at the end of the video so that it won't sound so secondary for my monitors, but we're going to play it right now just so we can kind of get an idea of that's what we do. Alright, y'all. That's it. Thank y'all for watching. And I always try to have some kind of positive or motivational statements at the end of my video, just because life has shown me a lot, and I've learned a lot over time, and I've experienced a lot. I'm only 28, but as far as work experience, life experience, all different kind of things, I've experienced a lot. So my message for today is fear is the biggest enemy of an achiever. And I say that because just a year ago, before I had to sit down and revamp my whole life, because I was planning on being a trainer before I tore my Achilles and had some kids in that very moment that I was going to train. But at the end of it all, I just realized that the fear I've had over the past 10, 12 years of wanting to do this has stopped me from so much joy. And I mean, literally, I get so much internal validation from the creations I make. I get so much dopamine from just making a beat and hearing it come together. So don't let fear be the reason that you don't walk into that peace that I'm feeling right now, because peace is truly a choice. You can make that choice anytime you want to, but that peace is going to require you to also combat that fear. By combating that fear, I say just go for it. Do the thing, and after the fact, all the fear don't set in, because I didn't even think about this. I just started recording, and I was like, you know what? I got a loop ready to go. Let's do it. So after the fact, as I'm editing, all types of anxiety and stuff going to be going on, but I'm just going to post it. It is what it is. So y'all have a good one.